In the last video, we created our first class, person. Let's explore some of the internals of this class. In that class, we initialize a couple of attributes, name and age, inside the constructor init method. Earlier, we had those two properties assigned outside the init method. So what exactly is the difference between the two approaches? Let's remove these two objects, John and Jessica, from the bottom of the file, and let's create new object person p1 with name person1 and age 21, person p2 with name person2 and age 22. Here we assign the object p1 a name value of person1 and age value of 21. Those values are assigned to this specific object p1, and the property values assigned to object p2 are totally different from this. But if you want to have a common property for each person, those properties should not be defined on the object level. Instead, they should be assigned to a class so that it always takes the same value, and we do not have to pass the value explicitly while constructing the object. For example, we can have property human as true at the class level. To assign a class level property, we just assign the property like this. Now to access this property, we can simply print p1.human here, and for p2 object, I can type print p2.human, and if I execute this code, it will print true for both the values. We saw similar behavior with our name attribute when it was defined outside the init method in the last video. But we can also write person.human to access this class level property. So let's try printing its value in between these two print statements. And sure, it does print true. We can change the value of the human attribute on object level. For example, I can write p1.human equals false, and now let's try printing its value right after this assignment. Let's also keep these two print statements for person class and p1 object. If I execute this file, it prints the newly assigned value of false for the object p1, but the value of person.human is still true. That's because we modified the human attribute on the p1 object only. But what happens if I change the value using person.human? So let's update this assignment from p1.human to person.human. Now if I execute this, it has changed the value of all the objects. So that's class level attribute which can be accessed and modified using the class name. We can also define class level methods, which will be invoked using the class reference. These are particularly useful when creating factory methods for object creation. Factory method is simply a method which will be used to create all the objects of this specific class. To define a class level method, we can use the same def keyword followed by the method name. Let's define a method create. When we are defining class level method, it's a convention to write the first argument as CLS for class. This can be named anything, but in Python community, it's usually named CLS. Inside the method, we use this CLS, which refers to this person class. In object level methods, we were using self to refer to this object. It's a similar convention, but this time it refers to the class instead of the object. And then we can provide the arguments name and age. As a method implementation, we can write return CLS name and age. Here this CLS refers to person class, so it's like calling the constructor with the arguments name and age. Now to declare this method as class level method, we have to write @class method on top of the method definition. This @symbol class method is a decorator, which we will talk about later, but just make sure you have to add it to all the class level methods. Now let's modify this describe method to IamSelf.name and IamSelf.age years old. And let's remove this student keyword argument block from here. Let's comment out all the code from here. Let's use this newly created factory method person.create. It takes name and age as arguments. Let's assign name of Pamela and age of 24 and assign it to a variable Pamela. Now we can invoke the method describe on this object, and let's execute this and see it creates this message. So that's how you can create factory method to abstract out the logic of object creation. Class methods are useful when you want to perform some action on a class level instead of on object. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it useful, share it with everyone, and I will see you in the next video.